A British jihadist who travelled to Syria to fight with Islamic State claims he spent most of his time playing on PlayStation. Shabazz Suleiman admits he was part of the IS military police but insists he didn't kill anybody. In an interview with Sky News, he says he now wants to come back to Britain to, quote, get on with his life.
Do you feel a terrorist?
No.
Even though you were part of a terrorist organisation?
It's very weird, honestly. No, I mean, terrorist. When you think of terrorists, you think someone, you know, with a mask and, you know, with a sword, you know, beheading people and terrorizing people. Well, honestly, I was no. I mean, I was just relaxed, hiding in Raqqa with Syrian civilians, Idlibi friends. They're from Idlib, playing PlayStation or go around on bike rides and normal life in ISIS territory.
Your story sounds unbelievable. It sounds.
I mean,
you stayed in Raqqa, whilst we're seeing videos posted by ISIS of people being crucified and beheaded and flogged and homosexuals thrown off the edge of it, and you were playing PlayStation.
Yeah. The PlayStation's in Deir ez-Zor, in my house in Deir ez-Zor, but it's probably captured by the Syrian regime now.
Now let's call for putting questions here. Let's turn to Dr. Usama Hasan, Head of Islamic Studies at the Quilliam Foundation, who joins us from central London, as you see. Dr. Hasan, welcome to you. The banality of evil, working for IS but spending quite a lot of time on his PlayStation.
Well, I'm not sure I believe in it, and I'm not sure much of the British public believes him either. And if he wants to come back to Britain, he's welcome to return, in my view, but get on with his life behind bars, probably, because he had admitted to joining a terrorist group, ISIS, and therefore he's broken the terrorism law. And everybody who returns from ISIS should be prosecuted and jailed as the first resort, only if we're absolutely sure that they're de-radicalised, disengaged and disillusioned, then perhaps they can be released and reintegrated into civilian society. But these people are a massive national security threat. We just think of the Westminster Bridge attack, the London Bridge attacks. Those people hadn't even travelled abroad who carried that out, or the ringleaders. The threat is too high, so we cannot take any chances with returning ISIS fighters.
Well, and there are different ways to deal with that threat, aren't there? Rory Stewart, the MP, who's a Foreign Office Minister, says, given a choice, if you can kill them in Syria or Iraq, that's what we ought to do rather than rolling out the welcome mat.
Well, he's being logical, and that's how military people think. When people are in a war zone and they've chosen to fight for groups which have also promised and attacked Western countries, then they cannot complain. Sadly, the British armed forces will actually take those people out and have taken out dozens of them. But on the other hand, we cannot ban them from returning to Britain either. I think we have to get the national debate right. Yeah. These people are still British citizens. We do not recognise their rejection of Britain and their adopting ISIS citizenship, if you like. So if they do try to return to Britain, it's best that they return legally and are prosecuted. Otherwise, they will return illegally as refugees, which would be a greater threat. And also, if we don't let them return, we will be exporting terrorists to other countries, other parts of Europe or the Middle East, where they will kill innocent people. And I don't think that's right morally for the British people to deal with. We have to take ownership of that and lock them up when they return.
Dr. Hasan, is it not also true, or might it not also be true, that people like Shabazz Suleiman could be, if we could be absolutely sure they'd been de-radicalised, they'd have one heck of a story to tell for organisations like Prevent in terms of talking to vulnerable young people. I say vulnerable young people. Young men in particular have always sought a cause to live and fight and die for. It's not that unusual on one level.
Yes, well, I mean, I'm a former foreign fighter, but for a legitimate jihad against the Soviet-backed Afghan Mujahideen. So yes, I welcome that if it is true and proved beyond a shadow of doubt. But we mustn't be naive, and I would ask you and the great team here at Sky News not to be naive about ISIS spinning the media, which they've done before, to get their brutal headline and terrorise people around the world. This could be part of ISIS strategy to get their fighters safely back into European countries where we know hundreds of them want to carry out terrorist attacks. So we must be very suspicious, in my view, of these so-called innocent stories and really grill them. And of course the police and security services will do that. But yes, if somebody is genuinely disillusioned and regrets and makes up by spending time in prison, etc., and then they can actually talk to young people and talk them out of joining groups again, then yes, we welcome that, but that has to be the last resort.
Dr. Hasan from the Quilliam Foundation, appreciate your time today. Thanks a lot.